So today we're going to talk about innovation. You might think at Sodor there's not a lot of innovation goes on, but Thomas is here to tell everybody how they can be more innovative at work. So we've got today as delegates, we've got Bert, we've got Emily, we've got Gordon, we've got Harry, we've got Henry, we've got Neville, we've got Oliver, and we've got Percy. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, said Thomas, is the types of innovator that we can be. Anybody got any ideas of the types of innovator that we can be? And Emily said, well, perhaps we can be somebody who is very creative and is always thinking. And that's often an area that gets confused with innovation, the idea of creativity. And useful as it may be to think of creative, one of the things today I want to talk about is how innovation is different. So for the purposes of this, we have distributed innovators, we have cautious innovators, we have very specialist innovators who focus on a very narrow field, we have open innovators, and we have managerial innovators. Managerial innovators are the sort of people that don't do the innovation themselves, but manage people that do and create the sort of culture and framework to allow them to be innovative. And let's pick up on one of those. The idea that a distributed innovator is somebody who can very strong at associating, at questioning, at observing, at networking and experimenting. And then we talk about the types of innovation. What types of innovation might we have? And Harry said, well, perhaps we have innovation that works, innovation doesn't work. If something's very innovative but doesn't get implemented, then there's not a lot of point of coming up with the idea. And Thomas says, very good point, Harry. But what we talk about here is the idea that we have research that will link to innovation. And then we look at the 3 P's of innovation. So we look at the people, we look at the patterns, and we look at the problems around it. And we go look at capability as well. What technology do we have? How can we get innovation into our day-to-day operations? Is it just going to be a management thing, or is it going to be something that people do on a transactional basis? And we can look to create an optimal structure. What we mean by that is that we can create a structure that encourages innovation, so we can talk to stakeholders, what would they want to look at. We can look at financing external entrepreneurs, so they can come up with ideas that could be useful for us. And indeed, some organisations create a semi-autonomous unit around innovation. And how is innovation measured? Well, what do you think for that? Percy? Well, I would think if somebody's innovative and it gets implemented and it saves the organisation money, then that's got to be a good thing. Exactly right, Thomas. So we look at things like, well, how committed are the people that are involved with the innovation? How much do they buy into it? How motivated are the leadership to encourage innovation? What inputs are available from external parties around innovation? And what technology do we have in place right now? And just as we've touched on there, often we'd have a brainstorming environment to encourage innovation. So we'd ask questions in this such as, why does this matter? What difference is it going to make to the organisation? How might solving this challenge change things? And so certain rules when we have a brainstorming, so we need to suspend any judgment. We need to be curious rather than critical, not talking to people in a condescending or negative way. We need to not just think it, we need to say it and we need to write it so it's recorded. Quantity is very important with brainstorming rather than quality. And piggyback on ideas that people come up to expand on those and extend those a little bit. So ideas will typically flow in a certain structure. Three areas to think about. We've got pre-planning, we've got the diverge, emerge, converge phase, and lastly the execute phase. And we'll also look at action planning. So we put together, with the different ideas that come up, things that will be immediate to implement, so we can implement them straight away. Things that will be high priority, so we can do them now. Low priority, we can hold off doing them now. and innovative ideas that will help with long-term potential, so we'll build plans. And we need to look at the environment that we've got. How can we spark this innovative thinking? Well, we can foster a very open and creative work environment. We can motivate our people. We can encourage them to go that extra mile. We can encourage diversity. Here in Canada we have a lot of diversity. How can we get the people from different backgrounds, different experiences, different gender, different sexual orientation, different ethnicity to come up with very innovative approaches? We can provide the proper tools to enable them to come up with those innovative approaches. Create teams, so there's some sort of competitive element there and people can bounce ideas off each other, and not penalise people when it goes wrong. So looking at best practice, what do organisations who innovate do? They often look at embedding a social purpose. There's a social purpose, not just profit behind what they innovate. They define the social need as a result of that. So what need will it be satisfying? We measure how it's had an impact on both profits and on social value, and we assess what's been produced at the end. So the best-in-class organisations will often provide forums for employees to pursue opportunities. They create an environment that fosters the right tension. So it's not too tense, but there's still a little bit of tension there. They create systems and structures and work environments to encourage people to be resourceful and user initiative. They focus on the right set of outcomes, and they focus on a continuing focus to keep expanding and never stay still. So that concludes what we have to cover for innovation today. Thank you for attending. Look forward to speaking to you again soon.